Hello, everybody. Father Scott Vanderveer here with another installment in our consecration series to the Eucharist. Today, we're looking at what it looks like to surrender to the power of the Eucharist. A lot of us, I think, when we envision what surrendering would look like, we picture something like this, almost like waving the white flag. I give up, I give up. But surrendering doesn't look like cowering. Surrendering looks like opening, making ourselves fully available. It's why we talk about the real presence in the Eucharist. Christ made himself fully available to God's will and to us. The Eucharist, look, I look like a chalice, fully available. Fully fill me, Lord. With the Eucharist, we have Christ fully, not partially, not a little bit, but all the way. It's an amazing gift that he gives us, this full presence. And we, perhaps a few times in our life, have returned the favor. Maybe we've been able to return that gift of full presence. Maybe we did it by going to Mass and being completely there, completely in the moment, fully connected, fully part of the whole thing. But if you're like me, and if we're honest, more often than not, we are quite distracted at Mass. We're partially present, but we're not fully present. Someone was talking about a boss one time, and the boss had given everybody his cell phone number. And he said, you can reach out to me anytime. But he was never around. You could reach out to him, but he wasn't there. He didn't know what was going on with you. And I remember a colleague once saying, the problem is that the boss mistakes availability for presence. I think that's worth thinking about. Mistaking availability for presence. A lot of us are available for God to give us blessings. And we become instantly available if something goes wrong. Oh, what's this? How could this be? What's going on? We are available for the highs and the lows, but we're not present in the moments. I think going back to that example really says it, saying, here's my cell number, call me if you need me. That's a really great thing if you don't want that person too involved, if you don't want them too in your life. Some relationships, maybe with supervisors or with, middle managers or regional managers, I don't know, it depends on your situation, but in some of those relationships, that's exactly what you want. I like knowing that I can call you if I need you, but I'm on my own in the day-to-day. But that's not what we want with our most essential relationships. That's not what we want with our direct supervisor or with our spouse or with our spiritual leaders. And it's certainly not what we want with God. We don't want God to be available. We want God to be present. So here's the rub. God doesn't want us to be available. God wants what we want. It's a relationship. God wants us to be present. Being present in our life is the greatest way we can live a consecration. It's the greatest thing we could possibly do. Many people are surprised when they hear me say that my favorite part of ministry, or at least one of them, one of the top few, is funerals. I love working with funeral families. I love preparing for and executing funerals. I love presiding at funerals. Sometimes they come at times that are difficult to accommodate, but I'm always glad to do a funeral, to celebrate with a family. And here's why. No matter how messy someone's life might have been, it is always clear that God is revealed through their life. No matter how messy, no matter how, fill in the blank, imperfect or irregular, no matter how many bumps were in the road, it always feels beautiful to share the stories of that person's life. I find that everybody's life reveals something beautiful, something about God that we need to know. And I also have seen that people's lives are holy. Even if they weren't holy throughout, there are holy pockets. That's why it's interesting that Matthew Kelly talks so much about holy moments, our favorite of all the books he's written. That life is about stringing together holy moments. And if we string enough holy moments together, we wind up having a holy life. And I see holiness in people's lives when I do their funerals. It's not always evident while they're alive. Sometimes you have to stand at the far end of someone's life and look backwards. I think that is what we're called to be thinking about now with the Eucharist. Am I ready for my life to be summed up sometime? What if it were soon? What if everything anyone on this planet was ever going to know about me needed to be known about me in the next year? Because if it weren't for the next year, you won't know me. I'm heading out of here. What if that were true? What if this were our last year of life and we didn't know it? What would we need to do to make everyone understand what our life was all about? How could we put the finishing touch on the masterpiece that God has given us? We're called to have holy lives, and holy lives are created by holy moments being strung together. And holiness is possible when we're present. We can't phone in holiness. Holiness has the word whole right in it. We've got to be there, all of us. What an amazing thing to think about. How can we go from availability to presence? How can we go from cowering to truly surrendering? And how can we make our life a masterpiece of holiness? Thanks for considering all this with me and for being on this journey. May God bless you all.